Hello, everyone. Today we'll be looking for another type of essay, which is the advantage and disadvantage type of question. And like I mentioned before, right, this essay consists of 28%. All right, this essay consists of 28%. So I hope you focus on this lecture, how this essay should be written. The question first goes like this. Nowadays, experience is more valued in the workplace than knowledge in many countries. And they ask, do you think the advantages of this outweigh the disadvantages? All right, so this is another type of question. Before we get started, right, I want to summarize the question and we will be going over how this essay can be written. First of all, we're going to summarize the question. All right, on number one, the way how I summarize the question is in the modern society, many companies consider experience more valuable than intellectual skills. So, here in the modern society, although the meaning for a modern society may be different for in many countries, still I put it the modern society because it still gives you a sense of similar meaning of somewhat. And workplace, I replaced it with companies, with many companies. And I put consider experience more valuable. Experience more valuable is more valued than intellectual skills. Intellectual skills is can be compared with knowledge. In the second sentence, one of the strategy that I want you to use is start with while. All right, so what I would put is while this can employ benefits to the company, and then I put a comma, it can also have some drawbacks, which is another word for disadvantage to the society, where it encourages us to enter university for our career. So here, what I put is I will put a subordinate clause while, and while is one of the word that the examiner would look for, right? So this is really a necessary word that you can put, right? So these are the two sentences that I would start with. And before I get started, right, this is the essay that I have created. So you are freely to use this essay for whatever purpose, all right? It doesn't really matter, all right? Because I'm usually doing it to contribute to the students who are actually struggling to do IELTS. Next thing that I would do, I would divide this into two sections. First, benefit for the company. All right, that would be the first body. And B, drawbacks for people. Like I told you before, the most important thing is that you have to plan your essay. You have to make a plan for your essay so that you know what you're writing. Many students think that they don't have enough time, but when you plan an essay, that takes much less time as you're writing. So you can do planning. This whole essay consists of 40 minutes. So you can do planning for 5 minutes, and the remaining 35 minutes, you can start writing your essay. Still, writing your essay is not that late. 25 minutes is enough for you to write an essay. All right, so I would say 5 to 10 minutes, you can do the planning. The first, so what I plan to do is the company can take care of their daily tasks smoothly. All right. And the second idea, they can save time. And third, they can save money from training. So all these so all these has to do with experience. All right. Somehow I am going to connect it with the experience. So body one, I am going to start with um, this sentence. Most of the time, many companies receive profits depending on how quickly they finish their task, and in order to do that, they often recruit people with experience. So always remember when you're starting your first sentence, right? Remember it is connected to the first sentence of the question. It must be connected to that, or else you will be lost. So that's how I started my sentence. And the easiest way to write this, right, is while this can employ benefits to the company, it can also have some drawbacks to the society, where it encourages us to enter university for our career because, right, we write because, and that statement after it because. would be something that you will be writing here. That is the easiest way to recognize how to write the first sentence of the paragraph. And then I would put a clause so that it seems like it is connected with the previous sentence. So the number two I started with, by doing so, they believe that the organization is able to save expenses and their valuable time. So I replay, like I told you, if you repeat some of the words, right, that is a minus for your essay. So make sure you don't repeat. Try your best not to repeat the same words over and over again. So this, I put it instead of the company, I put organization. And money, I replaced it with expense. Number three, the third sentence, although all the recruits may be qualified to work in a company, there are still many occasions when these employees have to be trained, which is not free. Here I started the sentence with although. Although is another word that they look for, which is essential for you to get more than 7.0. So please remember this in fact. And I use the word which also, which is also an essential word for you to get 7.0. So the third one, what I put is like some of the cases, what people would do, what people would do, and like some of the like disadvantage if they do not recruit someone who are not experienced, and that is they have to train the employees, and that will cost money and that will cost time. The fourth sentence, sometimes the training can take up to 3 months. So this is like an example. And within those 3 months, it is the firm that has to pay for costs of training that consists of refreshment, traveling, and sometimes accommodation. So these are the things that is like that needs to be included. And the fifth sentence, I consider it the last sentence, which is almost important. One of the reason is because before you write the last sentence, you have to actually check if you're on the right track. But as you see here, first through fourth sentence on the first body, they are kind of out of track because these are more likely talking about the money, about the cost, and about the save time, and about the workers that they have to spend money on. But where is the experience? Only on the first sentence. So in order for this to get back to track, we have to write the fifth sentence. We have to connect the fifth sentence with the question again. So I would start with, consequently, many executives agree that if they hire someone well experienced, right? This well experienced, someone well experienced will be the key word that connects to the topic sentence. All right, so let me continue. In the field of business, all those money and time spent on training can be reduced and be used on marketing as well as research. All right, so the way how I connected these sentences is I used and, I used some of the preposition on, in, and also as well as some phrase. It's a phrase that can connect the words. And then let me move to the second paragraph. And these are the some of the replacing words that you can use instead of consequently. You can use the word consequently, eventually, ultimately, as a result, therefore. So you can use all these words. And then body two. I started with the word however, because it gives advantage to the company, but it can also give disadvantage to the employees. So I started with, however, valuing or requiring experience can ruin the balance of the society. Whilst most of the people, including myself, are taught to go to university for job career. So here, the sense that I'm kind of giving is that let me explain to you the the technique of the sentence first. So first I give you the reason what the experience valuing can give to the individual, and then I added the preposition of the society. Whilst most of the people, including myself, are taught to go to university for job career. So what this means is that most people are taught to go to get a job by going to the university. And the second sentence, the university does not teach us knowledge. Does Sorry about that. Does not teach about the experience. They do not teach us um, how to be trained to work at a company. They only teach us knowledge and fact, which is irrelevant to the experience. So that's what I put for second sentence. The third sentence, you see this word if, right? They also look at the conditional words if you have used them. So if and when conditional. If experience is valued more at a job site, then what we have learned for 4 years becomes futile. That's a sentence that I put. And then I would add moreover. Moreover, it can bring confusion to many young adults as they might question themselves. What is the point of going to university? Thus giving them the options to work rather than to study after graduating high school. When you look at this phrase, right, what is the point of going to university is really important sentence because this is a different variety of sentence. It's a question type of sentence. So the more different range of sentence you have, the higher the grade you have. So it is really good to use these kind of sentence, like once in an essay. On the fifth sentence, the last sentence, what I would write is, as a result, it would be unfair to many recruits if experience is valued more than knowledge. So this is how I wrapped up the second body. Now the conclusion. I will put, in conclusion, although companies may receive advantage, but on the other hand, each individual who are working for the company might suffer. So in other words, it is saying the company might receive advantage, but on the other hand, the people who are working at a company might have disadvantage. The second sentence I wrote, this is because they can feel discouraged by feeling that they had done nothing during their university education. So basically, I summarized the first body and then the second body. And then that's how how this essay is done. Right? So please learn from this essay. And like I told you, if you want to use this essay, you may freely use this essay for, teaching other students or for for learning yourself. All right. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching. I am also uploading the Korean version. All right. So if you really want to learn Korean, you can also look at the Korean version and learn from that video as well. All right. Thank you.